People just laugh. They don't believe me when I say I got married at home plate. What do you mean you got married at home plate? I said, I got married at home plate. What else can I tell you? And that's where I got married, in Elmira, New York. 20 minutes before the game was being played, I got married at home plate. I think you'd have to say that was pretty neat at that.
Don Zimmer has always been married to the game. After his American Legion team won the national championship in Hollywood, he shook hands with Babe Ruth. Once he reached the major leagues, he celebrated with Jackie Robinson and Roy Campanella, played third base for the team that lost more games than any other, then coached the team that won more than any other. He was there when Carlton Fisk gave the Red Sox hope and when Bucky Dent took it away. He played for Casey Stengel and managed Greg Maddux. He played with Pee Wee Reese and now coaches Derek Jeter. The game that has been his life nearly ended it in 1953, when a beaning put him in a coma for 13 days. In baseball's great dramas, he was rarely cast in the lead, but almost always he was there, bearing witness to the game's last half-century.
That's treble, extra bases maybe. Ambrose, a long run, he reaches out and makes the one-handed catch.
I played a very, very big role in that game of finally beating the Yankees by being taken out of the game. They brought Junior Gilliam into play second when they took me out of the game, played Ambrose and
Sandy
in left field, and in Yankee Stadium here, he might not have caught the ball off of Yogi Berra. Had he have been a right-handed thrower, he caught the ball fairly easy and doubled somebody off at first base, and the Dodgers finally beat the Yankees the first World Series.
It's down to Mr. Zimmer. He never gives up. He's the boy that don't die.
Is it true, first of all, that you were the first player ever to wear a Mets uniform?
I would think so, mainly because I lived in St. Pete, and that's where the Mets trained, at the Miller-Huggins Field. And when they send the uniforms down to Florida, they called out at my house and asked me if I would come down to the ballpark to have a picture taken in a Met uniform. So I'm assuming that was probably the first. And I happened to have my son with me, who at that time was like this, and I have the picture on my trophy case right now where I put him on my shoulders, and there I am in a Met uniform, and I'm just assuming that I probably wore the first Met uniform.
If it stays there, it's gone. Home run! The Red Sox win!
You may have had the best view in the whole ballpark.
Actually, I probably, in a sense, when the ball's hit, I probably got the worst view because I'm off into the coaching box. The only way I could see a fair ball, like Fisk hit, would be get out and stand almost on the foul line because the little walls got me blocked out. Well, naturally, when he hits this ball, I did the same thing as Fisk had done, but, you know, they got Fisk going like this and like this. Well, I'm probably doing the same thing, but they can't see me, but I'm on the foul line. I mean, I might have even been in fair territory, which you're not allowed to be, trying to keep this ball fair. And
it worked.
It's over the wall. It's a home run for Bucky Dent.
The greatest thrill I have ever had in baseball up to that time was coming to the ballpark to be in this one-game playoff. And to lose it was probably the biggest disappointment. Usually in the fall, it's chilly, and the wind would be blowing in. But this was a beautiful day, 75 degrees, and the wind was drifting out a little bit. And when he hit the ball, you know, usually in Fenway, when you're as close to the home plate as we are, you knew when the guy hit it, whether it's off the wall, you know, the direction of the ball, whether it's in the net or over the net. And when he hit this ball, I said, good, that's an out. And I see Yaz backing up, backing up. Now when I see Yaz turn around, I said, well, that's not the worst thing. He's going to play it off the wall, which happens a lot. And as it is, it went in net for a home run. And just a few hours later, I'm in the car driving to St. Petersburg, Florida, probably saying some choice words about Bucky Dent. Today, I can walk out on the field and somebody, hey, you remember Bucky Dent? Yeah, I remember him. What do you want me to do? Shoot him? It was about 2 or 3 years later, I rented his home over in Jersey. I came back to be a coach for Billy Martin, and I rented Bucky Dent's house over in Jersey. And every room in his house has got the home run swing. There it is. So I'm looking at it every day I'd walk into the house. So I told him one day, I said, I took all the pictures and put them face down. I said, I'm tired of looking at it.
win the division! Cubs win the division! Cubs win the division!
Chicago's a very special spot in my heart in baseball, Wrigley Field. And we took a team out of Arizona who, I think we won 7 games and lost 25 games or something. We couldn't beat anybody. And we wound up winning an Eastern Division championship. And I think when we cinched the championship in Montreal was probably the biggest thrill that I've had in baseball.
Make the catch! David Wells has pitched a perfect game!
The only dollar that I've made out of baseball is when I left Denver in 1995. I went home and I didn't have a job. I wasn't going to call to ask for a job at that time. I drew my first Social Security check. And 5 days later, Joe Torre called me to come here, and I had to call the Social Security and tell them to cancel my Social Security checks. And I've just been fortunate enough that I've never earned a dollar out of baseball. Guys have been around the game, you know, sometimes as long as I have, they say, well, we've seen it all, but that's not true. I'll guarantee you within the next 8 days, I'll see something I never saw before, and that's the way baseball is.
Jeremy, thanks. Still married to baseball and the same woman. When we come back, Game 2, Astros-Brewers. The Brewers got 7 in the 9th and won Game 1. Would this be as wild?